11:08 right now. In 1 minute or less than 1 minute, it'll be 11:09. I'm rolling today. Usually I'm rolling throughout the city of Los Angeles, and I often look at license plates. I guess I'm bored, so I look at license plates, and oh, this is my 109 intersection right here that I'm just cruising through right now, because I know exactly where the 109 address is located. That's why it's called the 109 intersection. I didn't go finding it, I just happened to notice it, so now when I cruise through that intersection, I always remember it, and I call it the 109 intersection. Anywho, alright, it's 11:09 right now. 11:09. I'm approaching Slauson. I'm on La Brea, approaching Slauson. So like I said, you know, I'll be in the car and I'll be bored, I guess, and my mind will wander, and I'll notice license plates. Sometimes I find 109 on a license plate, sometimes I don't. But it's usually when I'm not looking for 109 that I spot it on a license plate. Right now I'm looking for 109. I'm talking about it and I'm looking, and I haven't found it. And that's exactly how it plays out. Watch. Once I turn the camera off, I'll continue to drive. My mind will wander. I'll be thinking about something else, and then bam, right in front of me, there's 109. Not bam like I'm in a car accident, but bam like, hey, I found it. That's life. That's me. 109. IC 109. I recently made a discovery that I think is incredible, and I want to share it with you. I want to share it with the world. How do I do that? I mean, I have a nice following on my YouTube channel, but I wanted, you know what? I was about to say I wanted to grow. I just want to share what I've discovered, and I hope it piques your curiosity and interest. Hi, my name is Larry Wiggs, and my favorite artist is Jean-Michel Basquiat. I learned about him over 20 years ago, I think, and he painted one of my favorite hip-hop artists in a painting in 1982. The thing about what Basquiat painted is that my favorite artist, hip-hop artist, painted by my favorite, you know, traditional artist, painting and on canvas artist. 1982, he created the painting. This artist wasn't born, my favorite hip-hop artist wasn't born until 1985. How did that happen? Come with me, I'll explain more. You can't be out here doing all this shit. It's wild. You can't really come out here without there being so many other people doing their thing, and then it's the homeless people. You never know who's gonna be around here. It's like, I'm in Los Angeles doing my thing. This is my hometown, but you have to keep your head on a swivel. You gotta look around you, because at any given time, man, someone could run up and snatch your camera. This is LA, and someone else could probably feel just as comfortable right here doing their dirt, you know? So I can't give the camera too much of my attention. I've gotta move around and do what I do. Minutes ago, before I even started recording, there was no one over here. Now we've got families taking pictures and all kinds of stuff. So this is Los Angeles. But focus, you gotta stay focused. So Jean-Michel Basquiat, an artist I learned about 20 some years ago, I discovered in a painting from 1982, one of his paintings from 1982, which he actually created right here in Los Angeles. He created it in Venice, which is to the west. He created a work of art in which he painted someone, a famous rapper, hip-hop artist. He painted him 3 years before he was born. Right here in Los Angeles, in Venice, California. He painted him. That's called a premonition. Like when you see something before it happens, that's a premonition. So that's what I think happened with Jean-Michel Basquiat. He had a premonition. Maybe he didn't have a premonition. Maybe he was in a drug-induced state and his body was possessed by the spirit, and the spirit controlled his hand and told him, or moved his body so that he would write these words and create this image on the canvas. And I think maybe that same spirit led me to discover a picture of this hip-hop artist and the painting, both of which I juxtaposed. I put them side by side and I said, hey, wait, this one looks like this one and this one looks like this one. That's wild. And yet, that's exactly what happened. But then what's even more bizarre is not only the fact that the picture and the painting look alike, but also the words that Jean-Michel wrote on that picture, they relate to the person in Jean-Michel. The words that Jean-Michel wrote on the painting, they relate to the person in the picture. How does that happen? The spirit, that's how. Have no fear, y'all. That's the quote or the message of today. Have no fear. March 23rd to August 24th. LA County Museum of Natural History. Half-mast, the flags are at half-mast. I don't know what happened. Usually half-mast means that a famous, important figure has passed away. All right. And then if we look over here, we got George Lucas's spot over here, the new thing. Oh, this is beautiful. Look, there's a guy on top. Atop this, I want to say monstrosity, but it's a beautiful thing because it puts together the nature as well as man-made construction. And we got a guy over there atop, somewhere over there. Where is he? He's somewhere like standing like right there. It's pretty cool. Los Angeles Coliseum. 1984, my aunt ran at that Coliseum. That was a proud time. I don't know if she won, but she certainly, that was a stepping stone for her. I don't think she won in 84, but that was a stepping stone. So one moment led to another moment, and then for the rest of the world knows what happened in 1988. You know what? So 1988 started to resonate for me yesterday as I was, Jumani texted me an image of a Jean-Michel Basquiat book. And I told him that I had read that book, but I quickly checked the title and I discovered, no, I haven't read that book. But there's a book by the same author. So anywho, I told him I was gonna read that chapter. I got into maybe a page and a half or so, and then I got distracted, I guess. But story goes, so Jean-Michel Basquiat died in 1988. So that was one thing, Jumani told me about the book of Basquiat, and then I remembered, oh, Basquiat died in 88. And I wondered, like, what else happened in 88? I said, okay, Basquiat died in 88. My aunt became world famous in 88 in the Seoul Olympics. And then, what else? Seoul Olympics, Basquiat died. There was a plane crash in December, Flight 103, Pan Am Flight 103. There was a plane crash. That's only significant because I know that Basquiat referenced that plane crash in one of his works of art. So I saw that, and I saw that like 2 years ago, but I remembered that from '88. So the plane crash, Pan Am 103, Basquiat died in '88. My aunt became world famous that year, '88. Oh, and then Paulo Coelho released the book, The Alchemist. So all of those four things, those are four significant things that I remember. No, I don't remember, but my attention has been drawn to yesterday. Because this week I read The Alchemist. I finished The Alchemist this week for the first time. So I read The Alchemist this week, and then I learned that The Alchemist was released in 1988, and I thought, wow, what was happening in '88? And then I went down that rabbit hole. What happened in '88? My aunt, Jean-Michel Basquiat, The Alchemist, Pan Am Flight 103, all of these things called my attention to them. 1988. And then today I walk into the California African American Museum, and I am struck by the importance, by the clarity of this art exhibit by a young Ethiopian cat who was born in 1988. So I was like, look, here's '88 again. Here it is again. So I thought, hola. Hola. So I thought that was interesting that 1988 was hidden like that for me today. That's all. Just something to think about. This is just me walking, vibing, thinking, doing it how I do on a beautiful Saturday in Los Angeles at the very familiar USC Coliseum area, Science Center, California African American Museum location. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah. I was here when I was a kid. All of this has changed, of course. So much of this has changed already. California Science Center. IC 109. I just came from the California African American Museum. I think this is pretty fresh. They've got this slab of marble or something in the shape of California. So yeah, I've lived here all my life, Los Angeles. This is the Coliseum right here. This historic events, 1984 Olympics right here in the city of Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Yep. So much has changed, so much is in flux, so much is changing. We have this new football stadium, football stadium over here. The Science Center has changed, but we've always had museums over there. The Natural History Museum, all that kind of stuff. But I was here. I was a little kid, little me, okay? Cuando más pequeño, estuvo aquí. Sí, estuve. Cuando estuve aquí. Yeah, when I was here. Yeah, as a little kid. Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. This is awesome. I didn't know that it was going to be open, but here I am. It's open, and I'm standing right under here. This is so cool, so historic. Fight on. One of the last times I was here for any event was 2014, 2000. It might have been 2000. It was a Korean concert. It was a K-pop concert. I entered from over there, way back there. You can't see it, of course, I'm all the way over here. But I entered from way over there. The performers were over here. Oh man, this is awesome. The athletes would run up that way, run up these stairs from off the field. Wow, this is an awesome Coliseum, an awesome place. So cool. Nelson Mandela, John F. Kennedy, Billy Graham. Evangelist Billy Graham, Crusade for Christ, Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, 1963. Crusade for Christ. Awesome. Man, dude, to be here, to be present with all the history. Los Angeles Coliseum Mercy Bowl. Man, what an awesome place. What an awesome place, what an awesome time to experience. Los Angeles Coliseum. This is so cool. I remember being a little kid and there being a festival. There's always been events, you know, held here, or events, things happening. And roller skating was really big at the time during the 80s. And there were a lot of roller skaters over there. What is that? That's Figueroa over there. So they had the music going, they were roller skating. It was a great time to be alive. So much has changed. Yo, I'm Larry Wiggs. I'm here at the Los Angeles Coliseum, and in about 1 week or so, I'm gonna start my vacation on June 11th. I haven't purchased a ticket yet, but I'm wondering where should I go? And I came out here to the Coliseum today to enjoy the sunlight and to reminisce, and also to look at some artwork at the California African American Museum. I'm filled with energy. I'm filled with, you know, positivity, with courage. Courage has to be the word of the day, or bravery, you know. Shout out to Arias and Kidolgo. I just spoke with her, and bravery and courage. So I don't know where my travels are gonna lead me next, but I've got some ideas. The first idea was just fly to Romania and then take a train from Romania to many of the Eastern European countries, and then finally make my way all the way back to Madrid, Spain, and pick up, you know, or travel to a number of Eastern, or rather European countries, because I haven't really spent a lot of time in Europe. I spent 6 weeks in Europe in 2018. That's a long time, but I could definitely see other countries and travel more. So that's one of my travel ideas. Fly to Romania, take the train over the course of a month and a half, maybe 2 months, make my way from Eastern Europe all the way to Spain, and then fly back to the States and pick up where I left off, and go back into the classroom and have that under my belt. A European tour during the summer of 2025. That's one idea. Another idea is just to skip down to Mexico, you know, practice more of my Spanish. And it's interesting how if your phenotype doesn't match with the indigenous, the natives, they don't think that you speak their language. So it's a bit of a challenge, un desafío, but it's okay. You can overcome that. Maybe skip down to Mexico. Definitely go to Oaxaca. Yep. I actually drank some mezcal from Oaxaca last night, sort of to get into the spirit and all that.